Hello everyone and welcome back to Cooking with Suzanne. Today I want to share a very simple dessert recipe with you. It's a recipe that I've had for many years. As a matter of fact, this is the original recipe and you can hardly even read it anymore. I think I need to rewrite this. But I've been making this cake since I was a sophomore in high school. It's been a favorite of ours and I'd like to share it with you today. It's really nice. It's a simple cheesecake, but it's a very small one. It's actually prepared in a 9-inch glass pie plate or a ceramic, and all you want to do to get ready is just butter your pie plate in advance. And you can get your oven at 350 degrees. It's really nice because most cheesecake recipes are quite large and they serve at least 12 servings. This is very small, very simple, and it's a pineapple cheesecake. The original recipe called for a canned pineapple filling, pie filling. And I don't know how easy that is to come by anymore. So we're going to prepare a pineapple topping for our cheesecake. So the first thing you want to do is soften 2 8-ounce or 1 pound of cream cheese. It is important that your cream cheese is total room temperature, nice and soft, so that you don't have any chunks of cheese in your cheesecake, that it's really smooth and pure. And to that, we're going to add 3 eggs, which are also 3 large eggs, which are also room temperature. 2/3 cup of sugar, and to the filling, we will add 1 teaspoon of vanilla. So the first step, you can just use a hand mixer. You can also use your KitchenAid. So what's really important is just to make sure before you even get started that your cream cheese is really nice and soft. And once it is, add your sugar first. It helps to soften the cream cheese even more. So let's just get the sugar incorporated in here. And once that's incorporated, we will add our eggs one at a time. And then we will add our vanilla. Something else that you can add to this, which is not in the original recipe, would be a little bit of lemon zest. I love the flavor of lemon zest in cheesecake. It's very, very, very soft. Almost looks like whipped cream. And now let's just put in 1 egg at a time. So let's put in our second egg. And we'll do the same thing here. I just have it on low. I'm mixing this. And at this point, what you'd like to do is go around the sides of your bowl just to make sure that everything is getting incorporated really well. Let's continue mixing. And our last egg. There we go. And now we'd like to just, for flavoring, we're going to add a teaspoon of vanilla to the filling. And just mix your vanilla into your cheesecake filling. This is beautiful. Looks great. Nice and smooth. Let me come around so you can see this. I mean, you can see how loose and very creamy and smooth it is. That's the way you want it. Pour it into your pie plate, which, as I said, I have buttered. There's one other layer that goes on this cheesecake, but we first have to bake this off first, and then we'll make the other layer. So this goes in at 350 degrees, I would say for 25 to 30 minutes. The other thing I like to do, because this does not have a crust, I like to protect the filling so that it cooks nice and evenly. So what I'm going to do is just take a sheet pan and add some hot water into the pan and just bake it off like this. Just about a ½ inch of water, just enough to protect the filling so that it cooks nice and evenly and it doesn't form any kind of a crust on the bottom. You don't need much. I have about a ½ inch here. Okay, this looks great. Okay, so while the cheesecake is baking, let's make the pineapple filling. So here is a 20-ounce crushed pineapple in pineapple juice. And we're going to start with 1/2 cup sugar. You can go up to a full cup of sugar, but I'd like to cut back on the sugar, so we're going to start with a ½ cup and see how we like it. I think it's going to be great. And we need something to stabilize it, to thicken the pineapple. So we're going to use cornstarch here. And let's start with 2 tablespoons. I think that should be enough as well. Just whisk your sugar and cornstarch. Make sure there aren't any lumps. And then a tiny pinch of salt, just a little pinch. I use kosher salt here. Now we just want to add our pineapple. And we can just get this on the stove. We're going to bring it to a boil and then let it slowly cook for about, I would say about 5-6 minutes until it's nice and thickened. And then what you want to do is place it in a bowl, and you will need to refrigerate this, let this cool completely before we're going to top our cheesecake with it. So let's get it on the stove. I'm going to start it on high to get it going, and then we can lower it and let it cook until it's nice and thick. And keep in mind also, it will thicken even more as it cools down. So I think that the quantity should be just right. So once the cheesecake comes out, and it should be done 25 to 30 minutes, you will actually see the edge of the cheesecake look more cooked, and it should be set. It shouldn't be jiggly at all. You're going to let it cool for 20 minutes. Leave your oven on at 350 degrees. And then we can get this prepared and ready, and it goes over the top of the cheesecake and cooks for an additional 10 minutes. Okay, so here is 8 ounces, 1 cup of sour cream. We're going to add 1/4 of a cup of sugar to 8 ounces of sour cream. So I just poured the 1/4 of a cup of sugar in here. And we're just going to mix the sour cream and sugar together. And I think I hear the pineapple cooking nicely. It's starting to boil around the edges, so we can lower the heat now and let that continue to cook. And in the meantime, once again, the sour cream layer is 8 ounces or 1 cup and 4 tablespoons or 1/4 of a cup of sugar. And we will add a teaspoon of vanilla to the sour cream. Okay. There we go. So our sour cream layer is ready to go on top of our cheesecake once it has come out of the oven and cooled for 20 minutes. Our pineapple topping looks wonderful, and I think it's ready. It did take about 6 minutes, and I'm just going to shut this off. Just pour it in this bowl and let it cool for a little bit at room temperature, and then I'll put it in the refrigerator and let it get completely cool. Okay, you don't have to serve this with the pineapple topping. Just cut it and serve it with fresh fruit, whether it's fresh raspberries, fresh strawberries, but this is kind of fun, and it's the way I had it when I was young, and I still love it this way. So it's my most favorite way to actually have this cheesecake. So I just pulled the cheesecake out of the oven, and I'm going to come around so that you can really see it. Okay, so hopefully you can see that around the edges it's completely set. It has barely a jiggle in the center. It's just ever so slightly in the center. But you can actually see that it's completely cooked around the edges. It looks great. This is perfect. Okay, when the 20 minutes are up, we will then put the sour cream on top. I should mention that this did take a little bit longer than 25 to 30. This took exactly 35 minutes. So really what's important, the most important part is to know that you should just have a very, very slight jiggle in the center. It should be fully cooked around the edges. So every oven is different. This time it took a good 35 minutes. So just to let you know. We will now take our sour cream and sugar and vanilla and place it right on the top. We have about 20 seconds. So let's just get this on top. And this goes back into the oven just for 10 minutes to let this set up. Okay. And just go around and smooth it out and make a nice even layer. Okay, that looks great. Okay, I'll come around, show it to you. It's going to go in the oven for 10 minutes. And then when it comes out, it'll sit at room temperature until it completely cools, and then it's going to get refrigerated. One thing I did want to mention to you, and hopefully you noticed, I put the cheesecake directly into the oven without the tray of simmering water, which is also known as a water bath. You don't need it at this point. So not necessary. You just want to make sure that you did notice that. And I think it's ready to come out. I think we have about 10 seconds. So once it is completely cooled, then you definitely want your cheesecake to be room temperature before you put it in your refrigerator. Then let it cool completely, and then you can put your pineapple topping on the cheesecake. Okay, so here is our cheesecake. So I will let this just sit, let it cool completely, and then put it in the fridge. Okay, so our cheesecake, after it came to room temperature, I put it in the refrigerator for a couple of hours. It's completely chilled, and it is ready to be topped with the pineapple. You can put as much or as little as you like. You may have a little extra left over. I love the smell of the pineapple. So here is our pineapple cheesecake. And I'll come around so you can see it better. Here's our pineapple cheesecake, and you can see the beautiful cheesecake underneath. And you can actually even see the layer, the sour cream layer, and then our pineapple. Please enjoy it, and we'll see you next time. Take care.